All right, what's going on? Tutorial. This is not for everyone, but you may get some usage out of it. Uh, you know, so this will explain everything to do with the R179 class. As of the time of recording, the R179 kit that we have available for sale, which would be this one here, the 10 card doesn't work, and I'm going to show you how to fix that first. The reason why, and this was a rookie mistake on my part, was that because it's a 10 car, it goes searching for an 8 car and a drive seat, which isn't there. The only thing you have to do is double click on 8 car, press Control F, which will find all of the 8 car or car 8 markers in the entire script. Press these little 3 arrows and change it to car 10, just like that, and press that, which will replace it all. And from this point forward, the train should be working fine. If you encounter any other issues after that, then you are on your own. So yeah, anyways, welcome to the R179 tutorial. I have skipped the 62 tutorial. That's going to come after this. What's going to end up happening is that these trains will no longer be available in a development format, meaning you won't receive a physical instance anymore. You won't get this. What you will get, and this is if you're in the server, you'll get like this little package, but it won't give you access to this. So just keep that in mind. So now, with that in mind, we're going to start working on the 179s. I have all these trains here that I really don't need per se. We'll use the 5 car R179 as our reference point. And we'll try to go over a bunch of the different things that you can do with this train. Especially if you have purchased the train and you plan on modifying this to your specific degree. I would like to start with the physical stuff first and kind of just go through it one by one. So, as you may know, the R179 goes off of the real life fleet for the MTA New York City subway. So, with that in mind, this train does come equipped with some options that will spawn in based on the numbers that are selected. So, you may be wondering, how exactly does that work? And if you can modify that for yourself, say you want to do ad wrap for a certain car number. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to do a ad wrap, but just so that you see where everything is located, essentially, the 179 right now that we're looking at does come with headlight options, which, for example, if you spawn the unit 3166, will give you one of 2 different types of LED headlights that you will find on the real life R179. So this is something that was intentionally done at the time when we were building this train. There weren't many things. There was no Amazon Prime wrap. There was none of that. So at the time, we didn't add that as a feature. After we did, but we found that it is incredibly difficult to get the official images of the dude running to make it like as authentic as possible. Amazon does not respond to regular niggas like me. That's just how it is. So now, just to get into the physical aspect of it now, you can see that there's a folder / model here called options. And here you can see the different headlight options and taillight options that are available. For example, if I delete the original taillights, you see that the new LED taillights, which can be found on the real life R179, effectively look like this. These, again, are things that you can modify to, tend to your own usage, especially if you plan on changing the car numbers for the 179 to suit your specific game's needs. So now, with that in mind, we're going to go into the car numbering logic. This is part of the modules that you will receive with the kit. And you will see here, if we delete everything except for the 179 here, because all of this is useless right now. Basically, you'll see here that we have yards, yard directory, and the options for these yards. So now, or options for these car numbers, I'm sorry. This is pretty straightforward, but what we'll do is that we'll make our own fictional little yard to kind of go through it one by one, right? So what we'll do is, we're going to name it Avion. We could have named it Kenzie or whatever, but it's fine. Now, if you spawn a Avion set, the car numbers that'll be available to you will just merely be car number 100. You can add other numbers and other car fleets by doing simply, very, very simply, 100. This is a 5 car, so 105, 110, 115. So now in the fleet, we have these 4 different types of, LED options here. Now, here's the deal. This is merely for headlights here. Again, if you would like to modify this for yourself, you're going to have to learn a little bit of scripting to kind of understand how this really works in the end. But if all you want to do is have these different car numbers, just mess with the headlights and just use the features that are already available. Again, super easy to do. So now we have car number 100, 105, 110, and 115. Now, just to show you where the name comes in, this goes based off of your model per se, right? So what's going to end up happening is that this is a 5-car set. In the 10-car set, it'll do the same thing, but it'll do it twice. So it'll go the first 5 and then the last 5. So now, happening, whatever, here is that this is your front headlight. This is your front tail light. This is your rear headlight. This is your rear tail light. So now these 4 should be pretty simple to understand now. So what we'll do is we'll set up each car number with a unique setting, I guess you could say, a unique option list. So what we'll do is if you spawn in 100, 100 will have all original stuff. Seems pretty simple, right? Now, if you spawn in 105, 105 will have LED 1 for both the front and the rear. If you spawn in 110, it'll have the newer headlights, but also have the new taillights on the front and the rear. And if we spawn in 115, it'll have both the taillights and the headlights, but the second version of the LED headlights that are available here. So now, this is going to give us a pretty vague understanding of how this is going to work in the end, per se. Now you know that this is the front, this is the rear. It shouldn't really be too confusing to understand. Now, you set up your new yard, you have your car numbers. How do you make the train understand that you want to take from the Avion and not the other ones? Super simple to do. All you have to do is go onto the train, go to scripts, and right here where it says main functions, this is where you'll find where the options come into play and where all these different things come and do their job, right? So here in this particular portion, if you know scripting, you'll understand this. This is asking, I'm just going to go by one by one. Up here, this is saying get the car number, right? Or find the car number by going into the selected yard, which you can see up here. We pre-selected Pitkin, but you can again change this. Once you get the number from that selected yard, we're going to say, all right, let's search for whether or not that car number has options. If it does have options, change this value to true, which means that we have found that this particular car number does have an option. If it's true, go on the script here, and remember how we said there's 4 values. That's what this second number is. The first one would be this, and so on and so forth. So that's how this is working here per se. So now, how do we switch the yard to Avion? It's as simple as taking the same exact thing you typed in here. It is case sensitive and just placing it in yard. Now, if we were to go into game and just simply run it real quick, you'll see that it's only going to spawn in the Avion car numbers, which in this case, it spawned in 110. If you remember, 110 is the one that has both the LED 1 headlights and the newer LED tail lights, as you can see here. So they look pretty uniform and pretty unison. It's going to be the same thing for the rear as well. Pretty pog. Although the rear already has the headlights pre-applied, it seems. All right. Awesome. We're going to run it again just to see 100. Perfect. You can see it spawned the regular headlights and tail lights on both ends. And then let's do it one last time. You can see it's going 101, 102. Practically standing on the railway. And what we'll do is we'll actually treat this as standing on the railway. We'll make some different destinations and whatnot for it. Basically that's what we'll do here. So Nice. We got this. We understand that now our options have been set up for our car numbers. So again, we're going to run it just one more time, see if we could get the LED 1. Nah, I just spawned in 100 again. But effectively, you get the idea. So now, that's most of the physical aspect. The next aspect would be, how would you change these? These are not decals. You can't select them, whatever. All you have to do to change some of the decals that are on the train, per se, decal, quote unquote, is press Alt-D until you see all these little green balls. Ayo. These little green attachments is what these are called. What you'll do from there is that you'll simply select the attachment. It's usually the top one that tends to have the stuff in it. Now, because of the latest Roblox update, selecting these fucking attachments has been a fucking pain, bud. Seriously. All right. Give me this. There we go. So it's usually the top one that would have the beam in it. The beam is the asset. So if I change this and delete it, you can see that it's changed it now. It's just a blank square because there's no texture. So just keep that in mind. That's how you would change these assets, these little beams and whatnot. Just in case you want to switch this over to some like pride flag, if that's what you're into, I guess, then you do what it is that you have to do. That's most of the physical stuff gone. The only other thing per se that I can show you how to do, and this is actually like it's kind of like hit or miss. It's really if you really want to do that type of shit, would be like, all right, this has blue seats. I don't want blue seats. Oh, well, don't worry. You can change that. And if you don't know how to change that, this is actually pretty simple. Go to one of these interior ones. Go to the texture ID. Copy the number. And then in your Roblox browser, you're just going to want to find a random model. It doesn't really matter which one. And just, my leaked R179. And just paste the ID or the number that you just copied and just paste it here. Once you do that, you will see this is my texture here. If it doesn't show up for you, then it is what it is. The way I could download this actually is because I use a plugin. I believe it's called BT Roblox. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, BT Roblox right here. Free plugin. You don't need to pay for it. Once I download this texture, I'm gonna move this back over here. You'll see this is the seat color right here. So all you have to do is, if you already have paint.net installed, I'm going to move this over here. Paint.net. All right. This is the paint color up here. So say that, because it's, let's make it like an R211, right? So because of that, we're going to just copy the color. We're going to make it a little more. Something like that. Yeah. All right. We're going to make it like a dark blue. So now we're going to save it. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to move it to our downloads folder just so it's easier to find. We're done here with this. Select all three of the interiors because I believe the seats is not just in one of them. Let's see. Let's test that theory out. Okay, no, the seats are in one of them, which is interior one. Still, though, if you would like to still have your, like, all your assets the same ID and, like, prevent the server from loading a whole bunch of different pictures that it doesn't really need to, I recommend you replace all three. Let me just quickly publish this game. Video tutorials. I already have like 60 places called that, believe it or not. And the reason I'm going to upload is just so that I could upload the picture from here instead of having to go to the website and take 10 years to do it. Alright, perfect. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to type in the Explorer here, interior, interior, and we're going to do is mesh part. There we go. So now it's going to show us all the interior pieces. Nice. And here we'll upload our new image right here. It's probably an inappropriate name. Oh, there you go. So now all of our cars have the dark blue seats, man. Really feeling it. All right. The only other thing I guess you could do to really, add the cancer aspect to this is probably make the poles yellow. Even though the new 211s don't have yellow poles anymore, which is like a major W because that shit looked cancerous. All right. That's most of the physical stuff. You guys have learned most of it. You guys don't really need me for anything else when it comes to that. Let's move on to making our destinations and our find system stuff show up, right? So again, we're going to make this based off of the Staten Island Railway. Now, if you're setting this train up for your own group and you don't want any MTA destinations at all, the first thing I recommend that you do is that you go into the UI giver script and you take one of these UIs. I'm going to show you how to like do it with one UI and then like modify it for the rear and all that. Take this one UI, right? Go to the desk right here, you know, make it visible. If I'm going too fast, then bro, you are slow. That's just how it is. That's how it's working right now. Now, for the Staten Island Railway stuff, I would just put it in the other, but just to show you how to make your own custom panel. If you don't want none of this, you can just delete it. This is all a frame here. This is a grid frame, as you can see. This is so easy to modify. It's actually insane that people may not have figured it out yet. So we're going to keep other in there, but we're going to delete all the other ones except for the A. And what we're going to do is we're going to make these just a little bit bigger. So 2.6, this is going to be 4.8. Just like that. There we go. That's all we need. Just those three. And what we'll do is that instead of the A, we're going to delete the A too. Instead of the A, we're going to have this one called Sir. We're going to name it Sir. And then we're going to set it as Z-index 2. Other, oh, no, not Z-index, my bad. Layout order 1. So that's the first one to show up. We're going to name this Staten Island Railway. Make sure that it's wrapped so that it stays in their box. And 0.8. 0.8. That way you can kind of see the difference in the buttons there. So just like that, we deleted all the other ones. It's as simple as doing what we just did. You can add more to it as well. It's not really hard to do. I'm sure you guys can figure it out on your own time. So I'm not going to go in depth with it. But this is called Sir, right? Sir. So now, when we are making our destination now, we could use that as a group name. This is what is going to determine whether or not your 179 is going to load the route in the menu. So if you leave the group name empty, it won't load it under any group at all. So you can have that as like a hidden code, let's say, which we did do. You see booster. This is its own custom group name, so it's not going to show up for anyone except for the boosters, which some of the boosters still actually never figured out how to do, which is insane. So now, we're going to actually remove all of these codes, and we're just going to work on a first scratch reference per se. So we're going to start new, and we're going to use the A1 destination as a reference point, just so that I could guide you guys through it. So now, we're going to call this one Sir. Where does it go? It goes to Tottenville. So we're going to call, or actually, you know what? We're going to do this. Sir to T LCO, just like that. So Staten Island Railway to Tottenville local, all full local. So now we've named it, and the reason why you got to do this bracket and stuff is because this isn't like this. You could do it without it, but if you use any numbers, let's say, it's better to just do this overall. It looks cleaner in the end anyways. So let me just load up the MTA subway map real quick. Oh, it was right there. All right, perfect. So it's St. George and a whole bunch of other stops. So what we'll do is, again, group name. So the group name we saw was Sir. So that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to do Sir. You could do these two brackets. I've recommended a lot because with certain things, it'll auto cancel itself with certain characters. So I would recommend that you do that. Like use the double brackets just for that reason. But anyways, we're not going to do it for now. I personally don't want any of the destinations to show. So I don't want a letter on the front. I just think that a circle or a diamond would be enough. So I'm just going to leave that empty. The interior route is just going to be a parentheses, right? And the front emblem is going to be local. So these first four, again, we're using this up here as well as a reference point. Sir, which is the group name. So if I click that button on the UI right here, this will automatically show as a clickable button. That's basically what this is doing. This means that nothing is going to show up on the front. So no letter A, no letter S, no nothing on the front. This is what's going to show up on the interior, like the little route piece. It's a maximum of 3 characters, so you can't exceed 3 characters. And this is going to tell you whether the front is a local or a diamond or whatever. The next one, which just changes, is how many times the exterior sign is going to change. So because this is Staten Island Railway, the only destinations I think that we're really going to need is just Tottenville and then local. That should be the only thing we're going to need. And we're not going to use any letters either, I don't think. So, let's see. Yeah, no letters. We're just going to do Tottenville, local. That's it. That's all we're going to do. So because of that, we're going to do 2. And here, we're going to leave the next 4 empty until we make our destination. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Okay. Just like that. So fun fact as well. Never leave one of them empty. What the script tends to do now as well is that it'll check, just in case you make a mistake here, it'll go one by one. And if one of them is completely empty, it'll assume that you just have one destination, let's say, instead of, let's say, 3 of them, but you have a blink in there. So just keep that in mind. You know, that's what it's going to end up doing. So we're going to make the image now while we're making this, just to make it easier on ourselves. So we're going to load up paint.net again. Now, for those who did buy the 179 package, there is going to be a stuff you need pack that's going to be sent out to all the people who did buy it. If you don't receive it by the end of the day today, which is the 21st of October, just text me, you know. I'm going to go over here and load our model. My trains. Oh, I'm so smart. It's subway trains, real life, 179. Okay, perfect. Perfect. We're going to load this and this. This is our template for this stuff. They don't do this anymore. This bottom thing isn't stretched anymore on the updated programs. As you can see here, this is using Ben the Miner's font, by the way. So just keep that in mind. We're not gonna do any like route text, no number, letter, none of that shit. We're just gonna go nice and easy. Just use the display text here. Now, what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna delete all of that in there, delete all of that in there. We have our font numbers here. So we're going to select white as our color, and we're just going to find R179, wherever the hell it is. So I may have to be the guy who tells you that I may have. Oh, I forgot I reset my computer, but I could have swore I had the 179 font in here. So you know what? Let me just get that real quick. I'm gonna pause the recording so you guys don't have to wait here forever. All right, we're good, gang. That was like the quickest install I've ever done. So kudos. All right. First thing before I even start typing is that I want to make sure that I know where the middle is for this. So I'm gonna go and select all of these from the very top to the very bottom corner. So like this. The middle is right between these 2 dots. So I'm going to click right there. Boom. And I'm going to make our size 65.3. Nice. Oh. 65.3. There you go. And press this button to make sure that it's going off of a middle axis. Nice. All right. So what, like I said, we're going to do Tottenville and then the word local. So Totten. So they don't have that, so it's got to be caps. Just like that. And obviously this is not in the middle of the gray dots, so we're just going to move it down by 1. I did that by holding right click to move it down by just 1 little pixel. And that should be good. Right, and then we're going to duplicate this layer. Or no, we're going to make a new layer. Same thing, find the middle. Now, we know that we have to move it down by 1 pixel, so instead of clicking where we clicked last time, I click here and do the word local. Just like that. I had to move it over a pixel just to make sure that it lands properly. So now that we did that, I'm going to just rename this so that we don't get confused. Tottenville. We're going to duplicate this layer, and we're just going to deselect it, whatever it is we have selected now. We're going to go into Effects, Blurs, Gaussian Blur, and turn this to 32. Now it has a nice glow effect. I would prefer to use Gaussian Blur because it equally splays out the glow, unlike using the glow feature in Paint.net, which doesn't do it the same way. So I recommend Gaussian Blur. It looks brighter in game than if you were to use glow because of the way glow does its rendering. So keep that in mind. Once you're done, just press this button right here, or you could do Control M, which will merge the layer that you're on with the bottom one. Here we have the words local, do the same thing, but instead of going back to the effects, you can press Control F, which will redo what it is that you just did. So now, what we'll do now is we'll press Control A, Control C to copy, press the little paper button to make a new one, paste it, and now we have one of our destination frames. So what we can do here actually is find our sign folder. I'm just gonna make a SIR folder here. And we're gonna name it Tottenville. Boom. Do the same thing with the word local. Copy, paste, local. Nice. All right. Now that we have that uploaded, we're gonna go to the asset manager and just upload those two images that here we go. Awesome. All right. It's gonna be Tottenville. Copy the ID. Local. Nice. All right. Now comes the next part. So you can see the A has 3 of them, and then there's a blank one if you need it. Now it says that the next thing is the find image, which is going to be really interesting to do. So from here, all we got to do is make a new layer, and we're going to use this and kind of trace it, right? So I didn't put any sizes here because it really depends off of everyone. You may want to do it differently for yourself. You may want to put a design on there. Say you're doing a Japanese styled game and you want the 179 to kind of follow that same style. You know, this is free for you to do it any way you want, right? So this is not, you don't have to do it the way that I did it. So from here, what I'm going to end up doing is that I just want to trace just so that we get like actually, you know what? We're going to freestyle this shit. Watch this. Boom. Delete that. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to do the most like dumb thing ever. Okay, it's not going to let me. So you know what? Boom. Boom. Oh, get out of here. Move. All right. And what we're going to do is this. Just like that. Perfect. Make it a circle. Just like that. And we're actually going to make it just a little bit. No. It's not coloring the way I want it to color. Alright, so you know what? We're just going to use the regular blue that we had before. All good. No issue. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this say Sir, but in Helvetica. Wherever Helvetica is. New. I'm going to make it white. Not gray, white. Just like that. Yo, look at that shit. All right, watch. Boom. Make this 96. Let's say Tottenville. Although this font is like it's good, but it's not. I don't know where my other Helvetica font is at, but this is not mathing the way I want it to math. But you know what? It's okay. So what we'll do, we'll just do it in bold. And here, let's say just like that. And you want to delete the background. You cannot have the background in there. At least I don't think. Let me just quickly double check real quick. Nah, you don't need the background. You really don't need the background. So now that we have this done, we're gonna upload this, and that's what's gonna be showing up on our find system. So yeah, okay, no background. I was totally checking. All right. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna put it in finds. Sure. TLCL. Boom. Move it. All right. Signs. Oh, this shit's gonna go so crazy, bro. All right. Find image. Now we have our image that we can upload and put into here. Paste it. Done. Now we have our find image. Nice. So, next point that we're gonna do here. Interior destination. We're going to Tottenville. Just like that. The next part actually is not the route note as it says up there. Oh no, it is the route note. Okay, never mind. We're good. Sir, local to Tottenville is going to be the note. This next part, and this is where you should like low-key pay attention. It's going to be under regular, but this is actually your interior sign. What the interior sign is going to do when you sign up the train. So as you can see up here, it says extra. And what extra does is just, it'll say special event and then the time. Special event and then the time. And these are actually things that you can modify for yourself. It's actually pretty simple to do it. The last stop signage, we're going to just leave it empty. But basically, you go back into this. You make a sign that just says last stop. It can be empty, it can be full, or it could say a custom message. It doesn't matter. Just one image that's going to be used when you put this train and say that it's the last stop. All right. Just like this, we've set up our destination. Now, the next part is actually to go and, well, you know, make the stops. Now, here is actually where it's going to get a little weird. You could see that in our special sign, we have this RGB, whatever, event, font, whatever. This is actually purposely done. This is what you could use for your boroughs. Now, the deal is that if you do it through here, it would be very smart for you because it's just not going to work if you don't do it. But to go into the, I believe it's the programs, yeah, program, right? And insert the keyword that you changed here. So you can see there's Manhattan, there's this, there's whatever. Do this. Do this. Okay, because if you don't, then the shit's going to get fucked. In the end, that's just what's going to end up happening. So just, you know, be smart. That's all I'm telling you. And for this, because you're using the quotations for the RGB portion, do the double brackets. Be smart with it, you know what I mean? All right. Anyways, we're going to use it. Well, you guys can actually figure this out on your own. You really do not need me. But basically what this does here, this LT thing, is it's what's going to remove... The LT, actually, I'm going to tell you what that is. The LT and the other shit, the GT, that's the arrows. The arrows that show up. You can't put the arrow in the text. It won't show up. It'll think that it's the rich text. So in order for you to get the arrows, you have to use the this LT with the this and the this GT with that. It's the only way those arrows are gonna end up showing on there. So what we'll do is, again, we're going to delete all of these. I actually do not need any of these destinations to make stops. Stops are like the easiest. All right. This is called Sir to TLCL. Again, this is case sensitive. All of them have to be the same name. So if you have any doubts, you know, just paste it on there. And here, we're just going to do the stops that are on the map, which is going to be top. Oh. No, you know where I messed up? I'm going to show you. You never want to include the first stop unless you really have to, right? So I was gonna do St. George and shit, but no, you don't gotta do that. It's only the next stop. Alright. Tompkinsville. You know me, I can't spell for shit, so gotta be smart here. Stapleton, Clifton. And what I'll do here, I believe Clifton is only 3 cars on a certain side. Oh, we could do that. Instead of the arrows for boroughs, we could do first 3 only. Yo, that's gonna be so fire. And we could change the color to it too, but I'm gonna make it red just to keep it simple. I gotta find the schedule that shows what stop. Okay, I might be special boarding. All right, got it. Clifton is first 3 cars to St. George. Richmond Valley is first 3 cars in both directions. Got it, bro. Richmond Valley. That's 2 stops before Townville. So that's what you're gonna see how that shit's gonna work. And actually, I might change the color just to show you that you can change the color. Okay. Clifton, Grasmere, Old Town, Dongan Hills, Jefferson Ave, Grant City, New Dorp, Oakwood Heights, Terrace, Great Kills, Eltingville, Annandale, Huguenot, Prince's Bay, Pleasant Plains, Richmond Valley, and this is where it's gonna get really interesting. So we're gonna just copy this piece, this entire section here, and just so you see how because of the quotations didn't work. So in this case, we would do the double brackets. Just like that. And I personally don't want it to be red. I would prefer our G. We're gonna do like a really greenish green RGB, maybe. Let's see. What color would that be? Let's do like this Staten Island blue. So 85, 165. So it's 0, 85, and then 165. And this is going to say first 3. It may not fit on the sign, to be honest with you. It may not fit. So what we'll do is first 3, and then that's it. Always leave a space, though. What I should have done too, now that I'm like realizing, is added that little, damn, what that shit called, the little arrows, but I'm just gonna make it say first 3, just like that. Wait, this is a 1795 car, so it would be first 4. First 4 cars. All right, perfect. Next one is Arthur Kill. and then Tottenville. Just like that. Nice. And then for transfers, what I like to do is I just like to copy all the stops that I just did. I'll always put the little comma at the end too. I keep forgetting. Just like this. Boom, 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 boom. You don't need any of this nonsense. Nice. All right. So there's nothing at Tottenville. I think the only real transfer is at Eltingville, possibly, which is the S79. Old Town and Eltingville now says S79 on it, I believe. But since on the map it only shows Old Town with the S79, that's what we'll do. So we're going to do that. Where's Old Town? S79, SBS. Boom. New Dorp, Oakwood Heights. Yo, I spelled Grassmere wrong, bro. Y'all's probably like, oh, this freaking moron. Let me go like correct that real quick. Perfect. And then announcements is like pretty self-explanatory. You go one by one. This is based on the first stop. The next stop thing, the next is always going to be the first stop. So it's not going to be the Tompkinsville now. It's going to be your first stop. Just keep that in mind. And then this up here would be the first approach stop. So this would be Tompkinsville. This is Tompkinsville. Basically, that's what this would be. So just keep that in mind. Now, we are ready to see our destination in a limbo. I'm going to put this back in the UI giver. All right. Now, if this doesn't work, I'm going to blame my entire staff team. You know, they could be cool, but, you know, they're just dumb. So, love you. All right. Staten Island Railway. Oh, it loaded. All right. Sir Local to Tottenville. So now if I click it, after a couple of seconds, Tottenville. Local, dude, what? Got the circle at the front. What? What? Get out of here. What? All right. You ready? You ready? Oh, 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 what? And then you can see, and then where's, oh, it should be the next frame to show. It's going to show, yo, it don't even fit, bro. First four. Basically, you get the idea. It said first four. To Tottenville. Next stop is Tompkinsville. First. Oh, you know what we could do? In red, actually. This is actually going to be like, I feel like this would be a lot more realistic. So what we'll do is, instead of that, we'll do in red an asterisk, whatever it's called. So again, here's I'm gonna explain this program thing again. The reason you would do this is because the stop name, remember, is gonna show all this shit. It's gonna show the little all these numbers and shit when you got a Richmond Valley. So to avoid that, you take this entire piece right here, like that entire section, and you put it in the little keyword thing, and it'll remove it so that it can be shown up here. That's what that's for. So just keep that in mind when you're doing those little tricks with that shit. All right, we're gonna do it one more time and just see if it worked or not. I think for the most part, I showed you most of the stuff. I'm going to show you probably one other thing, and then I think that wraps it for this tutorial. I've shown you pretty much everything to do with this train. All right, watch. Let's see if it You see the S79 over there at Old Town though? Shit's crazy. Yeah, look, the little red asterisks, bro. W. All right, bro. Major dubs, bro. All right, nice. Nice. Yo, I'm just glad it worked, boss. For real. All right. Now we got that out of the way. Next step we're going to do is we're going to mess with the little thing real quick. Did that. The ads, you never need to touch that. You never need to touch this. You never need to touch the find ads, really. Main functions, maybe you need to touch it. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to signage control, right? Here you can modify how long it takes for the exterior signs to change and all that extra shit. But remember how I took the interior signs go off of a structure? This could be scripted better, and in the newer versions of my trains, they are scripted better. But it takes a long time to change scripts that are already done for me. So I would prefer not to do that. So, again, anyways, you remember how I said extra just shows that and the time? This is where you see that. And the script is actually pretty simple if you want to make your own signage type shit. But I'm not going to explain it because if you know scripting, this should be very easy to understand. Very, very easy to understand. Trust me. It is insanely simple. It is. I shouldn't even have to look at it. But just to show you, if you ever want to make a custom interior sign cycle, this is where you go. You could even see here that this particular code will tween it so it slides through the entire thing. So you could use this for a whole bunch of stuff. The only other thing I guess I could show you. We got the UI giver. Oh, when you modify a UI, right? The only thing you actually have to do is just copy all the extra shit. So all of this, just copy it to the back. Don't ever just copy the UI if you don't have to, really. Just copy the other shit and it'll work fine. It'll work as designed. With that in mind, make sure I'm not missing anything else. I showed you that. If you want to put ads on the train, you can get the templates and create them yourself, and they're in the ad handler. You just put them wherever they need to be. This is super easy to understand as well. We did car numbers, we did options. I don't think I'm missing anything else. That's practically everything you need to learn about the train. Again, you guys will get a stuff you need for the R179. It'll probably be a public thing, actually. I'll probably post it to the channel. And what I'll probably do, actually, right now that I think about it, I might just make a channel section for those who have bought models. That way you guys just get all the files right from there. All right, thanks for watching. You have bared with me for the last 48 minutes, so I hope this was worth it. Goodbye.